Cole and Eulimina suddenly visited Fleo's house. Naturally, Fleo was confused about why they both came to his house. Cole then asked Fleo for permission to stay at his house for a while. Fleo was very surprised to hear this, while Reese laughed, thinking Cole was joking. Eulimina's then said they were not joking at all. Cole then explained why they came to Fleo's house. After Granel reported that Eugard had staged a coup and seized the throne room, Eulimina's, at the Demon Lord's castle, was speaking with the remaining 3 members of the Dark Army's internal 4, Hujimuji, Slape, and Yorminit. Eulimina's protested because they had agreed to witness a duel between Eugard and Cole. Since the Dark Army's internal 4 should fight the traitors, they argued that approving the duel might give Cole the push he needed. Hujimuji mentioned that Cole was not himself. He rarely stayed at the castle and did not continue their attacks, causing the subordinates to doubt him. Eulimina's then asked Slape for his opinion. Slape replied that, in his view, Cole deserved the throne, but since rebellion had started, Cole needed to demonstrate his power once again. The Dark Army's internal 4 members then headed to the throne room and met Eugard there, with Eulimina's joining them. Fufun then stated that there should be no interruptions during the duel between Cole and Eugard. All the members of the Dark Army's internal 4 agreed, except for Eulimina's, who objected. However, Eulimina's opinion was dismissed by Fufun, making Eulimina's angry. She lunged at Eugard, intending to attack him, but he remained seated calmly. Eulimina's tried to hit Eugard with her claws, but her nails broke instead. Eugard then struck Eulimina's, sending her flying back and crashing into a door. Unexpectedly, her broken nails flew towards Eugard's neck. However, Fufun quickly used his body to shield Eugard. Eulimina's, in pain, was frustrated that her trick had failed. Fufun then intended to incapacitate Eulimina's, but luckily, Cole and Granel arrived in time to save her. Eugard then greeted his older brother, immediately declaring his intent to challenge Cole for the throne. The former hero and Suya were terrified at the sight of the Demon Lord. Cole responded that he did not have time for a duel he considered pointless. Eugard mentioned that Cole's subordinates, the Dark Army's internal 4, had agreed to the duel. He added that everyone was tired of Cole's foolishness, believing him unfit to be the Demon Lord. Cole asked what foolishness he had committed. Eugard replied that Cole frequently visited human cities and enjoyed his time there. Fufun added that Cole had ordered their troops to retreat when they were close to victory and refused to continue the attack, suggesting that Cole was not serious about defeating humans. Rumors had spread throughout the army that Cole sided with the humans. Cole listened to these statements and then asked if the troops that advanced to Clyrode without his knowledge were also Eugard's doing. Eugard confirmed, saying he did not want to retreat so easily. Cole then questioned the Dark Army's internal 4 members if they agreed with Eugard. They remained silent. Cole began to understand what was happening. He emitted an aura of power from his body, and the Demon Lord's bracelet he wore glowed a bright red. Eugard laughed, thinking that Cole had decided to accept his challenge for a duel and stake the throne. Cole then raised his right arm, holding the Demon Lord's bracelet, and declared that he was relinquishing ownership of it. He then removed the bracelet and tossed it to Eugard, announcing that he was stepping down as the Demon Lord. Eugard refused to accept this, feeling insulted by Cole's actions. As Cole walked away, Eugard, still angry, tried to stop him. However, Cole turned and kicked Eugard, sending him flying through the castle wall and into a ravine. Cole remarked that this was revenge for what Eugard had done to Eulimina's. As he left, Cole thanked the members of the Dark Army's internal 4 for everything. They stood silently, stunned by the turn of events. Returning to the present, Fleo was shocked to hear the story. Eulimina's explained that she and Cole were now without money or a home. Fleo understood their situation, but said he needed to consult with the others. Just as he finished speaking, Balirasa entered the room, surprised to see Cole and Eulimina's greeting her. Fleo then asked Balirasa's opinion about Cole and Eulimina's staying there temporarily. Balirasa was speechless, confused, and trembling with fear. Soon after, Bellyrosa, Blossom, Bilary, and Bellano gathered in one room. Gol told them that he was no longer the Demon Lord and had left the Dark Army. Of course, Bellyrosa and the others were shocked to hear this. Gol continued, saying that even though he had stepped down, he could not stay in the demon territory. The only acquaintance he had in the human territory was Fleo, so as a friend, he asked for his help. Blossom mentioned that the Dark Army had attacked just a few days ago. Reese then said it seemed the new demon lord, Ugard, had ordered the attack. Gol confirmed this, stating that he was no longer an enemy and promised not to harm anyone there. Reese then questioned how a former demon lord could have no money. Aliminas angrily explained that after the incident, the intelligence unit she led also left the Dark Army. Gol gave all his money to them, arguing that their hard work had minimized casualties, so they deserved a reward. Aliminas then said that Gol was too soft, which often caused her trouble. Gol apologized to Aliminas and explained that he had seized the Demon Lord's throne from his father because he disliked his leadership. Therefore, it was only right for him to step down if he didn't have support. Gol believed they could still find something to do without the throne, just as Fleo had stopped the Dark Army as an anonymous adventurer. Reese was surprised to learn that Gol knew about that. Fleo then said that neither he nor Reese would mind if Gol and Uliminas stayed there. He asked for the others' opinions. Blossom felt she couldn't refuse if Reese and Fleo agreed. Bilary also agreed, as Gol had promised not to do anything dangerous. Bellano agreed as well, considering Gol to be Fleo's tea-drinking companion. Hia had no objections either and promised to act as a shield if they became dangerous. Bellyrosa stood up angrily, wondering at her friends. Despite everything, Bellyrosa still considered Gol a demon lord. Reese, with a sparkle in her eyes, asked Bellyrosa if she could bear to let her former boss and colleague go without a place to sleep. Bellyrosa was shocked and remained silent, looking very confused. The atmosphere was silent for a moment, but Bellyrosa eventually agreed. Inside, Reese felt very happy because now she had the strongest demon in her group. On a bright afternoon, Blossom was seen working in the fields. Gol approached her and asked if there was anything he could help with. Blossom immediately said no, as Hia's help was already enough. Gol then went to the stable and met Bilary, offering to help take care of the horses. However, the horses in the stable rebelled, frightened by the aura emanating from Gol's body. Paul then entered Fleo's workshop, admiring all the equipment there. Fleo explained that he made and sold weapons, armor, and other items. Gol noticed a shield made of dragon scales, and Fleo explained that he obtained the scales when he was attacked. Gol understood and also noticed that the shield had many magical layers. Fleo explained that it was because dragon scales could store magical energy. Gol commented that if the human army had shields like this, it would be difficult for the Dark Army to fight against them. Fleo clarified that these were only for adventurers and that the magic in the shields would not be effective on a large scale. Gol laughed and praised Fleo. From behind the door, Uliminas watched Gol being very friendly with Fleo. She wondered how Gol could be so close to a human. Reese, who was beside her, remarked that it shouldn't be a problem since Gol was no longer the Demon Lord. Uliminas noted that Gol seemed livelier now compared to when he led the Dark Army. Uliminas found herself confused about her current feelings. That night, they all gathered together, chatting and enjoying a meal. The atmosphere was warm and friendly, but Bellyrosa seemed to keep her distance, watching them from afar. As the night went on, Blossom, Bilary, and Bellano had fallen asleep, while Bellyrosa stood alone outside, staring at the sky. It turned out that Reese and Fleo were also still awake. They brought tea and cookies for her. Bellyrosa thanked them. Fleo then mentioned that Reese was worried about her because she seemed down. Fleo was also concerned. He apologized to Bellyrosa for forcing her to accept Gol and Uliminas. Bellyrosa dismissed it, saying she never felt entitled to have a say in the matter. She was just surprised at how quickly Fleo, Reese, and the others accepted them. Fleo understood and shared how much he enjoyed his current lifestyle. Fleo would gather materials and craft armor to sell. Blossom farmed and provided vegetables for them to eat. Bilary and Saib took care of magical beasts, and they all learned magic from Belano and Hia. They lived together in harmony, which was ideal but rare in reality. Balarasa felt unworthy of staying there, but wanted to stay with them. Unlike the others, she felt she couldn't contribute much. Even though Kal and Ulimanas were demons, they could laugh together, respect differences, and share meals. However, Balarasa still couldn't fully accept them. She had seen knights wounded and crying over the loss of their friends. So, even if Kal wasn't a bad person or a demon lord anymore, Balarasa felt she couldn't live under the same roof as him. Fleo understood and acknowledged her feelings, noting that it's not just her. It seems every human feels that way because that's life. But he believed Kal had come to them because he was in trouble. Reese added that Kal might have come to monitor the house, but with Fleo, Hia, and Reese there, the house had gathered powerful forces from both sides. Balarasa then asked if Fleo wasn't worried about being watched. Fleo said it was okay since he had nothing to hide. He explained that living harmoniously together meant accepting them as they are, but there was no need to force a close relationship. Balarasa tried to understand Fleo's words. Reese then asked Balarasa why she had no issue with her, even though she was once part of the Dark Army. When they first met, Reese had thought about making her food for her subordinates. Of course, Balarasa was shocked and confused. She couldn't believe it because she had seen Reese act so silly so often that she no longer found her dangerous. Hearing this, Reese felt slightly annoyed. Reese added that Balarasa was not useless. She had helped Reese a lot with making cookies. Balarasa smiled, feeling more at ease now. The next day, Kal and Ulimanas left Fleo's house. Balarasa was there, and she said that if Kal and Ulimanas hurt humans, she would not forgive them. Gol felt that Balarasa had been watching him the whole time at the house. Ulimanas teased Balarasa for always looking scared around Kal. Balarasa retorted that Ulimanas had been defeated twice by Fleo in her own game. Of course, Ulimanas got very angry, while Kal just laughed. Gol approached Balarasa and extended his hand for a handshake, but she refused, saying she would only shake hands with him when she could trust him. Gol could only smile at this. Then Balarasa went into the forest with Saib to hunt. Elsewhere, the former hero and Suya were running, panting heavily. Suya complained that she was exhausted and couldn't run any longer. The former hero had escaped with jewelry and magic stones stolen from the Demon Lord's castle treasure room. He wanted to reach the city as soon as possible and head to an inn to rest. They kept running, trying to leave the demon territory behind.